All right, everybody, welcome to. Wait a second. The Stanley Parable. This game, I always thought it was pretty cool. I never actually got the chance to play it, but I've watched some of it before. So I'm gonna begin the game. I don't really remember how the game works, but we will learn.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Hello, Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
What the hell?
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the
Okay, that's not supposed to happen. This is very annoying. What the hell? Okay, well, we didn't get the whole intro, but anyway, let's explore. That's locked. That's locked.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I have no idea.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh yeah, this game is where you're supposed to choose to listen to the narrator or to not. Let's see if we can find...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, I think that's better. So I can't find my co-workers. All the doors are locked. I can't jump through there. Oh, I can shut these. Oh, I shut that one. Where do I go? You just keep following, I guess.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So let's follow along with the game this first time. We'll go door on our left. Can we go back? We can't. Nope. We solidified it. Trying to check all these doors to see. Oh, that's bright. The meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not getting fired.
In disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers. Resent. It's too slow. I missed what he said. The broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay, bully.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I want to go downstairs. I want to go downstairs. Screw this. What's downstairs?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
He
and then
probably
something
would.
occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down. Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
What the hell?
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Oh.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Can I go back?
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts.
My God, it's too deep.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Oh my gosh.
Speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
What the hell?
That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
What the hell? Nope.
Stanley began screaming. Please,
Oh
someone
my.
wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
What the hell?
Although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew.
What the hell?
Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she
What
turned
the
and
hell?
ran.
The end? That was the fastest thing ever I've ever gotten to an end of something. Oh my gosh. So we're back at the beginning. Okay. So maybe... I wonder if there's anything we can actually click on. Okay, I'm gonna go through
All of his co-workers
and
were gone.
follow.
What could it mean? Stanley decided
And
to go
just
to the
keep
meeting
following.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, shit. Okay. I keep clicking.
When Stanley came to a
go
set
to the
of
right.
2 open doors, he
No.
entered the door on his left.
Okay, we'll go to the left one this time. Let's see. We'll go up the stairs this time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Is this the boss's office? Executive bathroom? What's in here? Nothing.
Stepping into his
Oh.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Oh.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Okay.
He
it
stepped
opens
into
up
the
this.
newly opened passageway.
This looks like a CSGO map. Down we go. Loading? What?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years...
Oh, wait. Okay, sorry about that.
It had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that
Whoa.
read Mind Control Facility.
We'll follow through.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
No. This is a crazy room.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Oh, I gotta continue. This is odd. 427 is me, right? Am I? That one? Yeah, that's me.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been
Maybe.
manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Wow.
It was unthinkable.
That's bright.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Hopefully not.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad
Offline.
or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ooh. So I'm gonna destroy it all? Oh. Awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Do I press off? Or do I press on? I'm gonna do off. Oh, I wanna do... I kinda wanted to do on. What happened? Oh. See something.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
I don't think so.
Yes.
Oh, it
He
is?
had won. He
Whoa.
had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Should I?
Stanley
did it.
felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Well. Huh. That's what happens if you follow through. Huh. That's actually really a nice little ending. Okay, cool. Well, that is actually going to do it probably for this first episode. I'm going to go ahead and record the second episode. There will be more of this because I want to test out some other ways that we go. So, if you did enjoy episode 1, please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, obviously. Definitely will be more, so stay tuned for that.